I'm Lindsay Maloney, and this is the Book Your Dream Clients podcast. I built a 6-figure coaching business while raising my 3 babies and working a 9-to-5, and I'm here to help you break free from the hustle mentality that's been holding you back from reaching your full potential so you can know your worth, step into your own power, and of course, book your dream clients. Welcome back to another episode of the Book Your Dream Clients podcast. I'm so grateful you are with me today because today I want to talk about how to find strength in times of weakness. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'm so glad you're with me, and I appreciate you so much. And I just want to remind you that everything you do really matters, no matter what's going on in the world or your life. You matter, you are here for a reason, and no one was placed here by accident. And I thought this topic was such an important thing to touch on. I'm recording this right now in April. We're in the middle of COVID-19, and there's just a lot more elevated emotions when it comes to we're all staying home. Everyone's been inside for over a month, and we're all wondering what's going to happen. And we, as introverted as I am looking forward to getting out of the house and getting as back to normal as possible. And I know that online business feels a little weird for some because they're wondering if they should sell, what should they do? There's no rule book to refer back to. But here's my take on it. My take is I crave normality. I always have. I think of the times where my life was thrown off course. One example is a few years ago, my son was hurt in a swimming accident, and I was obviously going to not care about my business at the time and be with him, right? So we were in the hospital. Our lives are just completely thrown upside down. And I could have worried about what's going to happen to my business while I'm away from it, or what's going to happen to my business because my life is so different right now. But I just really wanted to have things back to normal. And I think that's a big introvert thing too. A mom thing, everything. Like, you just want your life to be back to normal. Like, if everything else could just stop and let's get back to our normal days, that'd be great, right? And I remember thinking that every waking moment when we were in the hospital, when my husband was in the hospital with him and I was at home with a newborn baby and a toddler, and I just wanted my life to be back to normal more than anything. And what I did was I made it as normal as possible. This goes for life and business, by the way. When we hit the stop button on things that bring us joy, everything else feels a little bit more icky. So don't hit stop on things that bring you joy just because a few things have been wrinkled up a bit or removed or, just different. I think that I've been through a lot, and what's really made me come out stronger was believing that this will make me stronger. This will not affect my future in a negative way, and staying as positive as possible. And I know sometimes that's really hard when you're like, what is life going to be like tomorrow or a month from now or a year from now? But we never know that anyway. So why let that hold us back just because of what's going on now or maybe 2 years from now if you're going through a hard time? Don't let the unknown hold you back because we never really know, right? So keeping things as normal as possible. So for me, it's really minding my child self. And I've learned this really well by having children. Keeping things normal as possible. So doing the things in your business that you always do, putting out content, showing up, supporting your clients and your students, doing the things that moving the things that need to be moved every single day, not hitting the pause button because things are different. When you do the things that are normal for you, that's so soothing to your mind, because as much as, maybe you like to have every day be different, or you're okay with, turns and twists, a structure of normality is very beneficial, especially when there's a time of big unknowns. So keeping your hours, not working more than you have to, and just working bit by bit and having a positive attitude will make us come out so strong. And I've used this analogy a few times with my clients and even with my family. Imagine a very windy day. I live in North Dakota, so it's windy a lot. And when it's really dry outside, you can see those tumbleweeds blowing everywhere, right? They have a mind of their own. And when it's really windy and there's dirt blowing in your face and you want this to be over, there's a lot of tumbleweeds who are just going here and there, back and forth, blowing everywhere, and they don't really have a plan. They're just going where the wind blows them, and it's not really serving them. So you have a choice. You can be that tumbleweed who's blowing everywhere, and who knows where they're going to end up. Or you can be that deeply rooted plant in the ground that's so grounded and strong that no matter what the weather is, they're going to be there. When it's winter, they go dormant. And when it's spring, they bloom again. Color comes back, and then all of a sudden it becomes a flower. But they're coming back every year. We all have cycles like that. We're not going to always be blooming. And we don't always have to be going where the wind takes us. We have to make a choice. Are you going to be that plant who stays strong and grounded? Or are you going to be that wishy-washy person who's going to go from here to there and no one knows where they're going to go next? Your business needs you to be strong, and your business needs you to be grounded. So grounding yourself in routine, as much normality as possible, will keep you strong. From all of my experiences where my life has been thrown off kilter, the one thing that I could always count on was my business. When everything feels like it's out of your control, your business is going to be there, and you can count on it. No matter what season it's in, it's always going to be there. Whether maybe it's in the dead of winter, or, the spring is blooming, it's there. I've always counted on my business to get me through times where I felt like I know I have no control and I completely trust where I'm going. And the only thing that I can really handle right now is working on this beautiful thing that I have created years ago. So whether you created your business a few years ago, or maybe it's just been a couple of months and you're like, wow, this is a great way to start. It's okay. Just keep doing what you're doing, and everything will turn out the way it's supposed to. And I think one of the other things that's really important is to not give up, especially when things are tough. When we look at things as being tough, or identifying we're in a time of crisis, it puts our minds into this fear mode. So please pay attention to what you're listening to, who you're listening to, and the words you're saying yourself. Are you listening to all the fear, or are you finding the sunshine in everything? It's really important to be paying attention to that. The things we listen to and the words we say affect our reality, no matter what you believe or not. They absolutely do. I've been able to get my business through lots of times of hardship, and whether personal or just global things, it's possible, and you have to believe that. So we can make that choice again. We can either be that tumbling weed, and when the storm is over, end up wherever the wind took you, or we can be that strong, grounded plant who's been there the whole time. Times like this clear out weeds. It clears out the dry leaves in your yard, and it blows everything out that doesn't belong there. So we have to make that decision. Where do we want to be when the storm is over? It's absolutely our choice. So now some practical things that we can talk about it when we're going through a time of weakness or crisis or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes it's really good for you to just do the quiet things. I've noticed a lot of my students and clients working on the things that doesn't push them to be the face of their business, like the front and center stuff. Like they might be pulling back on going live because they just don't feel like they want to do that right now, and that's okay. But the things that they are doing is they're learning or they're being creative. And I know that online coaches love to learn and they love to do things. So pick something that you love to do. Maybe it's a course that you've been wanting to enroll in, or maybe you've enrolled in it and you haven't even had time to do it. Now's the time to do that. It's going to make you feel inspired to take action when you're ready. So do the things. You can do the quiet work, learn, create, and do the things that you've been putting off because you haven't had time because you've been so visible in your business. If you're pulling back on visibility right now because you just don't feel up for it, there's still other things that you can do that will make you feel like you have a purpose and that you have that you're moving forward. You are not stuck. You are going to get through this. And I want you to just be really gentle and loving to yourself right now. Ask yourself, what's overwhelming me right now? What's giving me anxiety when it comes to my business? And you just give yourself permission to not do them right now. Give yourself permission to give yourself a breather and take some time. There's no rush. As long as you're staying strong and grounded, we're going to be there. And when this is over or the next thing is over, you're going to be right in front of the people who need you. There's so many people who need you, and there always will be people who need you. So stay strong and stay focused and reach out for help if you need it. I hope this episode was helpful for you, and if you need anything, please let me know. I'm happy to support you. You can reach out to me via email, hello@lindsaymaloney.com, or you can join my free Facebook group, dreamclientcommunity.com, and just reach out. Don't think that you have to do this alone. Even if you don't have a coach, if you don't have a mentor, you're just like totally doing this by yourself, know that I'm here for you too, and I'd be happy to help. Thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Book Your Dream Clients podcast. I am so grateful for you, and I want to be sure you are a part of my free community. Go to dreamclientcommunity.com and join our free Facebook group. We have all kinds of cool things happening every single day, so don't miss out. Also, if you love downloading freebies, check out my Freebie Vault on my website by going to lindsaymaloney.com, selecting Freebie Vault, and there you can download all the things that will help you start and scale your coaching business. And if you're feeling extra generous, be sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode.